In a sweep of business news, Madison Reedy is live beside me in the studio.
Isn't it great? The more business news, the better.
Well, yes, Madison, I'm delighted you feel that way.
I think I'm biased.
Well, it's good, as you should be in your round. You're going to talk about shareholders of the defunct company Wynyard Group who've had a miserable time but have been given a glimmer of hope, right?
And that miserable time has extended over coming up 2 years now. So
Right.
Wynyard Group was this crime-fighting software company, and their software was actually used by the Reserve Bank once a couple of years ago, and about 50 international agencies, including the Australian Federal Police, crime-fighting task forces in Asia and the likes. But they went broke, and they went into voluntary administration in October 2016.
I remember there's quite a bit of buzz about them early on because of who was spying or signing up or expressing interest in, right? But
And people were still expressing interest, but when they went under, I mean, I don't think many people kind of realised what was actually going on there. So they had a few losses, and then they couldn't break even. They just had, cash flow issues there. So they went into voluntary administration in October 2016, and then they went into liquidation in February last year. And in April, the voluntary administrators said there might be some money there to give to particularly creditors who were owed $180 million in its New Zealand subsidiary, which is also in liquidation. And the fourth liquidators report came out late last week, and Neil Jackson from Quartermenta is one of the co-liquidators there. I spoke to him today, and his report confirmed that creditors would get some money, and also that shareholders would get a very small amount. I asked him how much a very small amount is, and it is literally a drop in the bucket. For some shareholders, it may only be a few cents.
in the dollar.
Exactly. And so this is obviously just a glimmer of hope. There's still a few decisions there to be made on timing. Neil Jackson still has no idea as to when they can actually get this money and distribute it. Obviously, he said there is money there to be distributed. That's from a court decision over a $171 million creditor claim, and that New Zealand entity, that's been confirmed, they'll get that back. But when it will be distributed, they don't know, because they're still waiting on all of the other liquidations of Wynyard's other subsidiaries around the world. It's a bit of a web.
Hell of a story, that one, wasn't it? Rags to riches to rags. The acquisition of a forestry business is being called significant. Why is that? What business are we talking about here, Madison?
So this is the Nelson Forest, and it was acquired, the purchase agreement was made late last year, but it finally got OIO approval last week, and it was for an undisclosed sum. We've been told it was substantial, but I mean, substantial could mean anything, right? And it was bought by this Melbourne-based forestry company called 141, also known as OFO, and they have 80,000 hectares of forest in South Australia. They're based in Melbourne, and they're all about sustainability. That's kind of their gig. They love it. And Nelson Forests own 60,000 hectares of forest in the South Island. So they bought them. We don't know, obviously, again, don't know how much for, but the entire acquisition was advised by a few firms. The legal side was looked after by the law firm Minter Ellison Rudwatts, and the partner there, Mark Foreman. He says that this deal basically kicks down the door for other international interest and investment, and possibly more acquisitions in the forestry industry, which he says in the previous government was rather black and blue. He said that most people were locked out of that, and that's why this deal is significant, and that the OIO let it over the line, but that he also thinks that it's mostly because of sustainability as to why they let it over the line. But he thinks more to come. They do quite a few kind of legal deals in the forestry space, and he thinks it's all looking up from here.
Fascinating. What happened on the markets? I haven't caught up with anything today.
We closed down 0.5%, so that's about 47 points to close at 9,049 points. The New Zealand dollar's buying at 65.2 US cents, 91.7 to the Australian, and 50.4 British pence.
Madison Reedy, thank you very much indeed. We appreciate it, Madison.